In May of 2018, Tarina Maldonado, a mommy blogger for Macaroni Kid, was invited to an early showing of the brand new children's movie Show Dogs in order to review it for her blog. And what is usually a fun night out for the family quickly turned to horror. And Tarina regretted leaving her house altogether. As she states, what could have solely been a fun movie for kids is damaged by dark and disturbing messages. And as USA Today states on May 24th, 2018, Show Dogs is sending an inappropriate message to children. In the movie, we see a talking police dog named Max, who must infiltrate a dog show with his human partner in order to save a stolen panda. But this movie has two controversial scenes, in which Max must have his genitals inspected in order to advance in the dog show. The first scene is in practice, and the second during the actual show. When Max shows signs of extreme discomfort, he is told by a former show dog to go to his Zen place so that they can inspect him anyways. These particular scenes have drawn immense criticism because of their parallels to child grooming tactics. And considering that Tarina's 7-year-old daughter stated that these scenes were her favorite, it is imperative that we ask today's research question. How does the movie Show Dogs use grooming rhetoric to set the stage for future sexual assault of minors? We will answer this question by first looking to the article Detecting Child Grooming Behavior Patterns on Social Media, published in the 2015 version of the International Conference on Social Informatics and written by Cano, Fernandez, and Alani. This model is perfect because it explains the ways in which child predators use media in order to groom children online. So today, we will examine the model found within this article, apply it to our artifact, the movie Show Dogs, and finally look to future implications. Because when watching a children's movie, children should be the safest. Cano, Fernandez, and Alani's model explains how to recognize child grooming behavior patterns on social media through three main tenets. These are trust development, grooming, and approach. First, we'll look at trust development. In order for this to occur, the researchers state that a child must examine media content and that they must have an emotional engagement to it. A predator cannot engage with a child unless they are involved in some type of chatting media website. To further gain their trust, the predator will begin to use triggering ideographs such as sweetheart, fun, believe, or secret. Once this foundation of trust is built, the second stage, grooming, will occur. This stage uses psycholinguistic patterns that allow the predator to gradually use more explicit verbiage. They begin to use words that relate to body parts and sexual phrasing, coupled with more friendly words like sweetie or honey. This is normalizing lewd and explicit verbiage for children in order to reduce their discomfort, which will bring us to the third stage of approach. In this tenet, the main goal of the predator is to achieve physical contact with a child. This is the transition from completely digital communication to meeting in person, which will unfortunately escalate the relationship. Now that we understand Cano, Fernandez, and Alani's model, we can apply it to our artifact, the movie Show Dogs. First, we'll look at trust development. According to the Internet Movie Database, or IMDb, Show Dogs is rated PG, which means that it is media content that is directly marketed to children. Along with this, the movie includes the narrative of a talking dog, which can create an emotional engagement for many children because of its comedic and friendly elements. Because the movie includes a child's examination of media content and an emotionally engaging storyline, it fulfills our first tenet. Second, grooming. This film is exposing viewers to scenes in which words like partner, Zen place, and private parts are used. These are examples of friend, body part, and sexual phrasing terms. The term private parts is used in place of more explicit verbiage, yet can still send the same message. Because the movie uses phrases that match the categories outlined in the model, it fulfills our second tenet. Third, we have approach. Now, because this is a film, there's no actual physical interaction between predators and children, which would mean that show dogs alone cannot fulfill the final tenet. However, this does leave the door open for predators to exploit a child who is more vulnerable after having been groomed by the movie when watching it, which would mean that predators can fulfill our final tenet using the movie. Having now met all three tenets, we can return to today's research question. How does the movie Show Dogs use grooming rhetoric to set the stage for future sexual assault of minors? Because the movie uses the same rhetorical strategies to groom children as a predator would online, it can achieve the same effect. This film was originally written to be a comedic enjoyment for the whole family. However, now when it is searched, the most commonly associated tags are disturbing, explicit, gruesome, and disgusting. This is because the writers ignorantly used comedy as a tool to groom children for sexual assault. And unfortunately, this movie is not the only part of the film industry currently experiencing this issue. With more and more child actors coming forward with sexual assault allegations against their older counterparts, it is clear that grooming is an issue that is plaguing the entire movie industry. This leads us to examine two critical implications of increased sexual assault against minors and a shift to reactionism. First, Show Dogs is normalizing sexual assault among children and teaching them that they can be rewarded if they just let it happen. This creates an easy avenue for pedophiles who may simply encourage a child to role-play a movie. Along with this, according to the National Center on Sexual Exploitation on May 22, 2018, Show Dogs is teaching children that enduring physical discomfort by pretending to be somewhere else, like a Zen place, can result in some type of reward. This allows predators the option to exploit a child's lack of knowledge and insecurity while increasing sexual assault. Second, because the movie received immediate parent backlash, Global Road Entertainment, the production studio, removed it from theaters after only a few days. Once they released a revised version, removing the two controversial scenes, they issued an apology to anyone who found the content inappropriate. This shows that our society is shifting from protectionist ideals to reactionism. The movie was only edited as a reaction to parent backlash and not as a way to help protect children. And while this is a step in the right direction for social responsibility, we need to get to a place where movies like this never even hit theaters, because children should be our #1 priority. However, considering the original edit of this movie was ever even approved for release, it is impossible to know what grooming tactic could come next in the world of children's movies. Today, we answered the research question, how does the movie Show Dogs use grooming rhetoric to set the stage for future sexual assault of minors? We answered this by first examining Kano Fernandez and Alani's model, applying it to our artifact, the movie Show Dogs, and finally looking to future implications. When Tarina's 7-year-old daughter stated that these inappropriate scenes were funny and were her favorite, instead of responding with fear or anger, Tarina decided to use this as a teaching moment to ensure that her daughter would not fall victim to grooming tactics used by the movie industry again in the future. However, considering the original edit of this movie was ever even approved for release, it is impossible to know where our children will be targeted next.